Now, I've obviously covered the Super Mario Galaxy games a ton, so I'm certainly excited to branch out to other games in the series. Galaxy isn't going anywhere, but Super Mario 3D Land has opened up a whole new world of things to mess with. And in today's video, we'll be covering something short but sweet I found in the game. This is how to crash the game by defeating Bowser before he even spawns. Super Mario 3D Land's first castle area is sort of impressive when you think about it. In terms of scale, it seems that the lava goes on forever. It reminds me a lot of the depth that the Bowser Castle racetrack has in Super Mario Kart. Something about seeing this crazy big area in front of you flowing with lava is a bit intimidating, even if it's just the first castle in the game. But while navigating through this fiery field, so to speak, there's a few things I encountered that were quite interesting. Now, normally in Super Mario 3D Land, and heck, even in 3D World, our camera is super restrictive in terms of what is around us. We can see things in the distance, but we can't get a better view of things unless we come across a pair of binoculars. But what I loved about this level is that although obstructed mostly throughout our journey, this entire level is encased in giant castle walls. Now, these walls are places you can never go, and at all times they're pretty far away from you. But what I find super interesting is that the developers actually decided to make it so Mario could explore these areas if he got over there. The entire walls have collision, and Mario can walk around the perimeter to his heart's content. It's kind of odd really, given the scale of these things. It takes a super long time to walk around this level. And technically, you can't, because the loading zone for the second half of the stage isn't triggered while you're this far out of bounds. So if you move to the castle walls right near the start of the level, you'll find yourself wandering off to a sheer drop-off later down the line. The back half of the level simply doesn't load in. While we're out here though, what's interesting is that the large towers are actually fully modeled and can be interacted with as well. You can totally wall kick off them, and with some super hops, we can see that this persists all the way up the tower. But I digress. The surrounding area is cool, but it's definitely not the reason why we're here today. Today, we're looking at something a bit more bizarre. So, swinging back on over to the level, as Mario makes his way through this fiery stage, he'll eventually confront Bowser, who falls from the sky. At this point, Bowser will shoot tons of fireballs at Mario as he evades them while moving forward. At some point, Mario will reach Bowser and will have to move around him. Once Mario makes it to the end and hits the switch, the bridge he just came from collapses Super Mario Bros. Style, and Bowser is thrown into the lava. This is when we realize that this wasn't actually Bowser, but a Goomba. Now, given this scenario, I of course wanted to mess with it. I was curious what would happen if you bypassed Bowser's trigger to load in. Would the area return to its normal song? Would anything mess up? Well, it turns out trying to skip Bowser's trigger actually just makes him spawn anyways. To my surprise, if you land on any of the land past his initial spawn point, he will fall down and start shooting you. I thought this was pretty darn crazy because there's no reason to cover an area this big. No player would ever make it over to here, regardless of what they tried. I suppose perhaps it was a failsafe in case a player glided over here, but honestly it just seems excessive. Beyond that, there's also a death barrier right above this area anyways, which is used for the end of level flagpole area. But now, knowing that Bowser spawned regardless of where you landed, I wanted to try to see if I could defeat Bowser before he actually spawned. Doing this was actually pretty darn rough since I was using a moon jump ability to give me continual jumping power. I missed the switch several times, and each time I did, Bowser would spawn despite me being past his area. After plenty of misses and deaths from hitting the death barrier above me, I finally aligned my ground pound to the button below me. And to my surprise, smashing the button still plays a cutscene as normal. The switch is hit, and Bowser falls down and roars. But then something interesting happens. The game just hardcore crashes and locks up as soon as the cutscene is over. It just freezes on Bowser's last frame. This is more than likely because the sequence of events is broken. Normally the camera will instantly snap back to Mario, but because we already started the defeat condition, the game just hangs up because we're already in the middle of his defeat sequence. And thus, by defeating Bowser before he actually appears, Super Mario 3D Land just crashes. So I thought this was pretty interesting, so I thought I'd give my hand at making a short video to showcase it. Also, if you're here and you have not watched my 2020 announcement video yet, my grand announcement that has 3 really cool things in it, I highly recommend checking out now. I'm not going to keep it on the channel long, so it's either unlisted or maybe even deleted by this point, but this year is going to be really awesome, and I'm super excited to show you what I've been working on and have in store. So if you haven't watched it yet, you can find a link in the description below, assuming I didn't delete it, and I'll see you all soon. And with that, thanks for watching, guys and gals, and until my next video, cheers!